going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today's Saturday. I hope you're having an awesome weekend so far, getting ready for the holidays, I'm sure. Now, if we have a look at what's going on, there's a lot of red, but guys, seriously, I mean, after a 5-day, solid green streak, I mean, we have to expect some kind of healthy correction at some point, right? So if we have a look at the biggest gainers of the day, well, actually, let's look at just the regular coins first. We have Bitcoin at 3,892, XRP 35.5 cents, Ethereum $112. Now, Bitcoin dominance is sitting nice around 53.1 with a market cap of $127 billion, which is a heck of an increase from where we were just a week ago when we were all freaking out if we were going to go below $100 billion. So if we have a look at the biggest gainers of the day, we have Odom up an impressive 41%. This buggier coin, I don't know what this coin is, but it keeps popping up. I mean, that's up another 40% today. We also have Dex, Theta, Stratus, Waves, Wax, Stasis, Huobi, Ardor, and Dai all making gains today. And the one thing, though, when you do have a dip like this, when the market falls, who comes to save the day? Well, when he's not busy blocking you on crypto Twitter, he's busy bashing cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, and blockchain. That's right, none other than Dr. Doom himself. He's gone on another Twitter rampage. This started around 6:35 in the morning. He starts going on about 4,800 pump and dump schemes. Crypto is the most manipulated financial market in all history. Manipulations of assets, and these coins are worth zero. It makes the Wolf of Wall Street look like a naive amateur. And then he goes on to make fun of, the team getting laid off from Consensus. Now, these guys have put in so much work to really help build the crypto space up to what it is today. And unfortunately, due to the bear market, they had to lay off 50 to 60% of the workers. And this guy's pretty much busy bashing them, saying soon it'll be 99%. I have no sympathy for any of these guys. They need to go back and get a real job. And then this video by Brecky Von Bitcoin, Crypto Brecky. He's totally cool guy. Got to meet him out in CryptoCon. But yeah, so, he's saying, crypto's dead. You know how the old story goes. So let's have a look at this. Let's see what's actually going on. Now, is crypto dead? Is it going to zero? Now, obviously, if you're watching this video right now, you and I most likely do not think that, clearly, or else we wouldn't be this invested in the space, right? Now, I wanted to talk about Eric Piscini. He's the CEO of Citizens Reserve and the former blockchain lead for Deloitte. He kind of had a different approach to look back on 2018. Now, a lot of us, is it going to be remembered as the year of, the crypto winter, or the year that everybody lost money, the terrible crash? I'm sure that will not be escapable in the future, but he pointed out 3 key things that actually were developed this year that we can't overlook despite the price. So the first thing specifically is these other tokens that have been created. So we've seen all different kinds. We've seen security tokens, non-fungible tokens, right? Crypto kitties, collectibles, in-game items. We've had Wax and Engine and Coco's BCX all developing these different things you can actually use in the games to swap out, different skins. You also have equity tokens, stable coins. So these all demonstrate the continued vitality of the blockchain community. So just that in a year alone is pretty impressive. But the second thing he also mentions is the significant investments in crypto and blockchain from traditional financial institutions and new technology companies means that this is going to help build a stronger foundation. Even guys like Walmart are using blockchain to trace food. You're having IBM and a lot of other different really well-known household names getting involved in the crypto space as well, not to mention the dApps that have been coming out and all these different products. We've seen wallets, trading technologies, custodian solutions, exchanges, broker solutions, and that's just to name a few. And finally, you have the regulatory environment. Obviously, if this thing was just a joke asset class and no one was going to take it seriously, you wouldn't see the regulators, buckling up so hard and really going in at this. So while a certain strain of crypto enthusiasts might actually believe that regulation sounds like the end, like the death knell, right, for blockchain, but it's somewhat of a misguided viewpoint. So you have the regulation, it actually removes that fear, right, from the average investor. I mean, I talk to a lot of people on crypto and they say, we don't need regulation. We don't need these guys coming in. But at the same time, I talk to so many people out in the quote unquote real world who don't pay any attention to crypto at all. And they're scared to get involved because of the regulatory uncertainties surrounding blockchain and the crypto space. So here's a prediction for 2019. What are some of the things that we can expect? Well, according to Eric, he says investing at the bottom, right? I mean, guys, if you zoom out right here, I mean, if you're going to talk to your friends and family about cryptocurrencies, this holiday season, and you're telling them to invest now, well, last year, we were suggesting to buy up here. This year, we're suggesting to buy down here. Not financial advice, but you got to admit, they have a much better sporting chance of making a gain this time around. So that is something, to be said. We also have a new Howey test, okay, which we don't currently have one, but let's be real here, okay? You have the 1946 Supreme Court case that pretty much defined the U.S. law around securities. How outdated is this? It's 2018. We are still referencing a law that came out in 1946? Come on, guys. Let's get with the times. Also, we're going to see an increase in the tech. Hands down, you know this. Better technology, decentralized business models, okay? Maybe the next Google or Amazon could make its appearance, but we don't know yet because we haven't seen that company. And finally, we're going to get that killer consumer app. He says, unfortunately, most of the apps that he's tried suck. Most of the apps that I've tried suck. They're just going to be real with you guys. There's not a lot of incentive to use these applications, these decentralized apps, because they're not user-friendly. So those are some things that we're going to be seeing moving forward as well. Not to mention the fact that Michael Arrington came out with this tweet yesterday saying, we're happy to be closing on a new $30 million commitment to Arrington XRP Capital next week. Investors are very excited about the crypto markets right now. And this guy down here actually says, what's the biggest reason for their excitement, right? Good question. Well, they agree that now is a perfect time to invest in this market. And this is coming from these guys, not my opinion, not your opinion. I mean, this is the opinion of actual investors saying, yes, we're ready. I mean, we just saw Mark Dow close his short that he had open for 11 months, right? All the way from almost 20K down to 33. Boom, done. That's it. Over, right? So this is what we're seeing in the space. Now, moving forward, let's talk about some of these things that are coming in, right? We have Bakkt. Now, maybe people do not understand exactly what Bakkt does. I know yesterday I went to talk about Nasdaq futures and how that could potentially be a bad thing for the market, creating these paper Bitcoins, right? We saw what COMEX did to gold, right? It destroys it. And the whole value of Bitcoin, well, one of the key components is the 21 million supply, that it'll never have any more than that. But with a lot of these futures options, you're able to basically create fake paper gold, paper Bitcoin, right? And this can do some detrimental harm to the price. However, this is not what Bakkt is all about. So let's just take 5 seconds to go over this, and then I want to talk about why Bakkt might potentially get delayed yet again. I know, guys, right? Anyway, let's talk about it. So it's a Bitcoin futures market operated by ICE, the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange. So it looks like they are hopefully close to receiving their green light. However, we'll get into that in just a second. So existing Bitcoin futures exchanges in the U.S. market, such as the CME and the CBOE, are cash settled, meaning that their contracts are settled with U.S. dollars, not Bitcoin. Kelly Loeffler, the CEO of Bakkt, said that cash-settled contracts have some benefit, but a physically settled Bitcoin futures contract is necessary to strengthen the infrastructure supporting the asset, emphasizing that the objective of Bakkt is to create a comfortable environment for investors to invest in digital assets. So, depending on the demand for the asset and the trading activity on Bakkt's exchange, the scheduled launch of Bakkt in January could affect the supply of Bitcoin and lead to an increase in the price, right? So here's the thing. As opposed to actually having, these paper Bitcoins, these fake Bitcoins, they're going to actually be holding these Bitcoins in custody, probably not trading them. And then because they're not being traded, they're being essentially hodled, right? That is going to take them out of circulation. And when you take something out of circulation, right? Well, the demand stays the same. There's less of it. Price should go up. In theory, it should go up. Not saying it definitely will. Another noteworthy fact is that Bakkt will have custody and it will deliver the real Bitcoin. So institution inflows would reduce supply. We just went through this. And just because ICE can sell... but here's the thing, yeah. Just because ICE can self-certify Bakkt's futures contract doesn't mean Bakkt can totally ignore regulatory approval. The CFTC still has jurisdiction over self-certified financial products, so bottom line, if the CFTC doesn't want a futures contract to trade, it won't. Now, let's talk about reasons why maybe it won't be able to get, put out right away. It may potentially get pushed back. So here's the situation. They said that, well, first it got pushed back. They said that it got pushed back initially because they didn't want to do it around the holidays. They had such high demand and they wanted to make sure everything was working and great, right? So it got pushed back to the 24th. However, now they still haven't received the regulatory approval from the CFTC. And we all know how slow these guys move, okay? They're dinosaurs, they're snails, right? So the problem is that they haven't approved it yet. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not going to approve it, okay? It's just saying that they haven't gotten around to it yet. So a person familiar with the agency's inner workings says that, even if it gets pushed back from the 24th, we could still have it on the 30th. So we're not saying like, oh, it's going to get pushed back months, but it could get pushed back again. The agency staff finished reviewing Bakkt's exemption request and passed it to the commission on Friday, which was yesterday at the time of making this video. So the commissions have to vote on whether to put out the proposal for public comment. And this happened with the ETFs as well. So after the 30-day comment period, the commissioners would likely take at least a couple days to read the comments and then vote on it itself. But here's the problem. We have Monday and Tuesday upcoming. Well, that's Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Those are obviously both federal holidays. So unless the government officials decide to work on their days off, which I highly doubt they're going to, the earliest the commissioners are going to vote for a public comment would be basically Wednesday, the day after Christmas. So that would already push the final vote back past January 24th. So even without taking into account the time needed to read the public comments, the possibility of a U.S. government shutdown, if you guys have been watching the news, threatens this as well. So the interesting thing is that I want to reiterate one more time, unlike Bitcoin futures offered by CME Group, CBOE, and possibly what Nasdaq is doing, Bakkt will be physically settled, meaning actual Bitcoin will change hands rather than cash. Now, getting back to that government shutdown, yes, that could affect things as well. I mean, coming over here looking at CNN, a partial government shutdown wouldn't cancel Christmas, but some of the people making the things run smoothly and ahead, it could be affected. So you have 380,000 employees that are being placed on furlough and another potential 420,000 that are going to be expected to work without pay. Is that true? Anybody out there, a government official, they expect you to work without pay? That's a thing they can do? I don't know much about that, but that's crazy, so let me know. So those are some of the situations moving forward. Now, that's what I wanted to say about Bakkt. But let's talk about adoption. Let's talk about what people are saying. Well, a recent study has actually come out, according to Photon, that says that 3% of American internet users are ready to use a blockchain banking product or app today. Now, I got pretty excited. I was like, oh yeah, 3%. But then I thought about it, and I was like, 3%? That's nothing. Why are people so scared? So you go in to look at this, and they only surveyed 5,000 Americans. Now, where did they get the survey from? I don't know. I mean, 5,000 is not a lot of people. You could have went to Bitcoin Reddit, and everyone would say they're ready. So we don't really know where this came from. But the survey was presented to 5,000 Americans, and a greater percentage of these, 34%, said that they would be willing to use blockchain banking solutions if they felt that they were currently ready, which they do not. So if you come down here, you can see 63% of the individuals don't want to use blockchain-based services at all. Because they just don't see a need for it, I guess. So the willingness of large banks to implement and lead various pilots would only validate the technology. So interestingly, we have both Ripple and R3 have partnered with several large banking institutions, and banks like BBVA have pioneered the intersection between their industry and blockchain, reaching more than 3,000 of the 5,000 surveyed. So the question is to the 63% of individuals that are saying they have absolutely no interest in, blockchain banking, my question is do these people understand how traditional banking works? I mean, just to quote, Henry Ford, he says, "It is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning." Now, taking this one step further, I wanted to take a little bit of an excerpt from this video that came out. Now, this is from Professor Richard Werner. He is a German economist, and I really think you guys need to check this out and listen to what he has to say about banking. It kind of opens up a little bit of an insight into how these guys work and sort of helps spread the idea of why crypto could potentially be a better solution. So check it out.
I'd like to reflect on that. Banks are being thought of as intermediaries, but this is not really what's happening. Banks,
what are they then?
They're creators of the money supply.
So you're firmly of the view that banks create money out of thin air?
Yes, well, I produced the first empirical studies to prove that in the 5,000-year history of banking. Banks are thought of as deposit-taking institutions that lend money. The legal reality is banks don't take deposits and banks don't lend money. So what is a deposit? A deposit is not actually a deposit. It's not a bailment. It's not held in custody. At law, the word deposit is meaningless. The law courts and various judgments have made it very clear if you give your money to a bank, even though it's called a deposit, this money is simply a loan to the bank.
That's true. Yeah.
So there is no such thing as a deposit.
So you think it's probably adequately named then?
So banks borrow from the public. Okay, so that much we've established. What about lending? Surely they're lending money. No, they don't. Banks don't lend money. Banks, again, at law, it's very clear, they're in the business of purchasing securities. That's it. So you say, okay, don't confuse me with all that legalese.
No.
I want a loan. I want a loan.
Yeah.
Fine. Here's the loan contract. Here's the offer letter, and you sign. At law, it's very clear. You have issued a security, namely a promissory note, and the bank is going to purchase that. That's what's happening.
Put it in layman's terms. What does that mean?
It means that what the bank is doing is very different from what it presents to the public that it's doing. How does this fit together? So you say, fine, the bank purchases my promissory note, but how do I get my money? I want, it's a loan.
I want 200 grand, right?
I don't care about the details. I want the money. The bank will say, well, you'll find it in your account with us. That would be technically correct. If they say, we'll transfer it to your account, that's wrong, because no money is transferred at all.
It's already
from
in the bank.
Anywhere inside the bank or outside the bank. Why? Because what we call a deposit is simply the bank's record of its debt to the public. Now, it also owes you money, and its record of the money it owes you is what you think you're getting as money, and that's all it is. And that is how the banks create the money supply. The money supply consists to 97% of bank deposits, and these are created out of nothing by banks when they lend, because they invent fictitious customer deposits. Why? They simply restate, slightly incorrectly in accounting terms, what is an accounts payable liability arising from the loan contract having purchased your promissory note as a customer deposit, but nobody has deposited any money.
I'm sure most of you already know that, but sometimes it's nice to be reminded of just how crazy these traditional systems actually are. So when we talk about printing money out of thin air, are we really sure Bitcoin is the criminal here? Now, let's move on. I want to talk about this thing that came out from the Wall Street Journal. I thought this was actually funny. I've never seen an article actually suggest somebody to do this. So pretty much in the context of the 2018 crypto bear market, the Wall Street Journal suggests that the only good thing about investing in cryptocurrencies this year was the tax break. So they're basically saying that you should make a quick sale and repurchase, and we'll get into why. This is crazy. So the IRS has treated crypto as an investment property as of 2014, akin to stocks and bonds, not currency. Crypto users can allegedly benefit from the special and often favorable taxation policy the country gives to investments. So while losses can be used to offset taxes on gains for investments, the potential tax relief may be even greater than for traditional assets. So this is because cryptos are exempt from so-called wash sale rules, which prohibit capital loss deductions when investors purchase a security, such as a stock, within 30 days of selling a loser. So the Wall Street Journal basically says that timing is crucial as tax losses can be carried forward, but not back. So if you sold at a gain during the crypto bull run of last year, 2017, your losses this tax year, post-April, can't unfortunately offset what you owned back then. So Robert Gordon, a tax strategist from 21st Securities, advised that whether or not they intend to repurchase cryptos, traders can actually benefit from either harvesting all their losses or even just up the amount of the sum total of their taxable gains. So yeah, so basically what they're saying is sell your crypto right now, just sell it right now for a loss, and then wait like an hour or something, and then buy it back. You can't make this stuff up. Interestingly enough, though, previously reported, last year, the IRS said that only 0.04% of tax filers were reporting capital gains from crypto. So, and that was during a good year. So yeah, I don't know. Just kind of thought that was a funny story, guys. So how about this? Interestingly enough, Globy, a company that provides riskless cryptocurrency payment services to merchants around the world, conducted a Twitter poll that asked if crypto enthusiasts would prefer Bitcoin, Monero, or XRP for Christmas. And as you can see right here, well, not for Christmas, just in general, XRP actually won the poll. So it turns out that 49% of people would actually prefer XRP, whereas 38% would prefer Bitcoin. Now, there were some comments on Twitter users saying that XRP is not a cryptocurrency, probably because of the uncertainty around the whether it's a security or not. Obviously, those who said Monero like it because of their privacy, and those who picked Bitcoin liked it because of their store of value. So I have a question for you guys, okay? If you could get one crypto for Christmas, which would you want? Bitcoin, Monero, XRP, or something else? Drop it in the comments below. Let me know. So that being said, though, somebody has some not so nice things to say about XRP, and this is actually Colin LeMahieu. Now, he's the creator of NANO. Don't kill the messenger, guys. I am just the reporter. I'm not taking a side on this. I'm just telling you what he said. So he basically went and spoke with Crypto Briefing and says that the financial sector is never going to use XRP. They might use XCurrent, but they're not going to use XRapid. And in his eyes, the fact that Ripple controls more than half of the total supply with no obligation to spend or burn makes it too risky. In fact, he compares it to Nano, saying that it's fair and all the circulating supply is completely out, which I call BS on that, because clearly you can come over here. There's 133,248,289, whereas the max supply says there's 133,248,290 nano. I demand an explanation for that 1 nano difference. Who's hiding that 1 nano? I'm totally kidding, guys. I'm just having fun with you. It's a weekend. Just relax. So anyway, he goes on to talk about the centralization, but we've discussed this time and time again. So LeMahieu believes that Nano is the best solution for settlement markets. He thinks it's because it's fast and it's a feeless payment solution, so banks want to speed up a process that can take days to confirm. He points out that Nano allows near instant settlement and allows lower overhead costs, meeting the real-world priorities for most FX traders. He believes that most banks will not adopt XRapid due to that, and he thinks that XRP is taking the strategy of trying to insert itself as a new central trading platform. This is unlikely to be accepted by FX firms since it would be a central point of failure and puts one firm in monopoly control of the entire market, regardless of how good they think governance will be. This will unlikely ever be accepted. However, we have talked about this on the channel, and, XRP is getting other decentralized solutions as well. We've seen Coil and these other guys doing things as well. So the idea is that if Ripple was to ever shut down their doors, could XRP survive? So that's like the real question of true decentralization. Whereas Ethereum right now, for example, take Ethereum. Ethereum is so decentralized that, nothing really matters if Vitalik was to up and leave or if a dev team was to up and leave. I mean, there's so many people still in the space, right? So he also says that he's confident in the interest that Nano will grow, and says that they're already in talks with a few interested traders. The main selling point is still being its speed. So, I mean, obviously, if we have a look here, guys, this is transactions per speed. You could see that this is back when XRP, XRP 1500, but Nano was still Rayblox. They hadn't changed their name yet. So it is pretty damn fast. I'll give it that, okay? But you can't deny the fact also that Nano has a slight disadvantage as it's a relatively new crypto, whereas Ripple has been around for a very long time, which we can also argue, why is Bitcoin still number one? I mean, look at Bitcoin's look at this. I mean, this is like a snail over here, right? Well, why is Bitcoin still number one? Well, granted, it's extremely secure, never been hacked, but it also has first mover advantage as well. So that's something to take into consideration. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just telling you what's going on. What do you think, guys? Nano, XRP, what's your take on it? Okay? Now, moving on, I want to talk about the Coinbase effect, because you notice back in the day when Coinbase only had a few coins, right? You used to see a token get listed and it would be massive, right? And they called this the Coinbase effect. So, for example, back in the day, when Ethereum Classic, not back in the day, this was quite recent, but Ethereum Classic rallied 25% in a day and 67% in 2 months. Ethereum surged 30% when it got listed. Litecoin rallied 220% in 1.5 months. Bitcoin Cash spiked 140% within a day. But we'll talk. Well, we all know about that day when Bitcoin Cash mysteriously spiked. But anyway, long story short, it doesn't seem like these coins are having the effect, and basically they're turning into somewhat of pump and dumps where they get listed on the news and then they dump, right? But the one thing that I wanted to point out, though, is all of these tokens and coins, whether it be Basic Attention, 0x, Civic, District 0x, Loom Network, Zilliqa, Maker, Golem, Decentraland, whatever. The thing is if we do have an insurgence of new people coming into the space, like we do have these retail or institutional, or maybe during the holidays you do convince a family member to buy into crypto. Well, the thing is the next tokens they're going to consider buying after the basics are probably going to be these ones. So from an investment standpoint, it might be good to hold some of these if you believe in them, as they could see some of the biggest spikes when new money enters the space. Not financial advice. I had to say it, guys. I had to say it. Okay, moving on. We also have Kucoin, though. We are seeing the washout, right? It's not all, bright and sunny for these projects. A lot of projects are getting washed out. It's the cleanse, whatever you want to call it. So due to low liquidity and some other things, Kucoin has chosen to delist Jabrel, WePower, Modem, Ethlen, Stake, Ash, Bread, BitClab, Mobius, and Bitcoin Gold, all currently. And as you can see right here, this is all their different reasons. It could be low liquidity, struggling or ceasing business activities, project fails to inform KuCoin of material changes. So there's all different reasons. But that being said, if you're holding any of these tokens, they're getting delisted. You might want to move them somewhere else, maybe to Binance, or you should keep them in your own wallets, but I know most people don't. So anyway, that being said, let's get on to some other coin news of the day, guys. We have Tron. So we have a statement from Justin Sun that follows a major milestone achieved by the network. So earlier this month, they had 100 million transactions in 173 days, averaging 578,000 transactions per day. But that's not the good news we want to bring up. So according to DApp Radar, this is a platform that basically provides data on DApp usage. They pretty much went in and looked at Tron and said that they now have 2,300 users on average for their dApps, with Tron Bet recording 2,500 active users and 2 million transactions per day. So in contrast, Ethereum's top 3 dApps have about 700 on average, which is IDEX, Fork Delta, and My Crypto. Now, I'm not going to say that it's just between Ethereum and, Tron. We do have EOS as well. EOS is the second most valuable smart contract platform. They have the highest number of dApp users in their protocol. So you have PRA Candybox, EOS Knights, EOS Bet, and they have almost 5,000 users. So, but it's not taking away from the fact that Tron is definitely climbing the ladder at an exceptionally fast rate. So this week, they've seen an explosive increase of dApps on Tron, and directly from the Tron team, they say with many dApp releases within the week, the daily average users on the newly launched Tron Shrimp Farm and Ant Farmer have made new records among the dApps. So according to DApp Radar, Tron Shrimp Farm had a daily active users of 15,000, surpassing the previous record number of 2,000 that Tron Bet had created. So regardless of whether it's on Tron or EOS or Ethereum or what, the fact is that more people are starting to use these dApps. That's all I care about. Usage, right? That's the whole thing of the channel, really, is just adoption. That's what I focus on most of the time. So also let's talk about Icon. They finally introduced their staking and their updated roadmap. They're taking more of a Cardano approach where they're not doing it by daily milestones. It's more of just, community things and as they get the jobs done, essentially, that way not to let people down. Now, they do have an ICX staking calculator right here. So as you can see, I don't know, man. Say you have 5,000 Icon, right? And you stake them for a year, you'll get 600 back. Is that a massively incredible amount? Not really, but that's considering current price. If the markets go up and say, maybe everything goes 10x or something like that, well, then maybe by the end of the year, those 600 Icon would actually turn out to be a decent amount, although currently they're only sitting around 24 cents. But hey, just figured I'd bring you guys the news. Also wanted to talk about ARK Pay. It's a simple open source library that provides merchants with the ability to easily accept ARK as a means of payments in online stores. Another example of projects just putting their head down and working. Definitely check that out, guys. Now, before we go, I wanted to talk about the adoption, which is what I'm very interested in. So despite crypto winter, you still have the number of crypto ATMs around the world continuing to grow despite everything that's going on. So Coin ATM's radar information shows that in November, different ATM manufacturers opened 209 tellers around the world, the US is actually still remaining the most dominant country with 70 new machines installed at the year's end. There are currently 2,243 crypto ATMs installed currently, which is freaking amazing. And then Australia and Canada are next in list with only 17 and 16. Come on, guys, you need to get more ATMs. We have 2,243 and you guys have 17. Come on, get with it, guys. Get with it. So anyway, moving on, I just wanted to give a shout out before we go. I thought this was a really awesome thing. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong has joined the ranks of the billionaires pledging to donate the majority of their wealth for the greater good. So he basically said that he signed up for the Giving Pledge started by Warren Buffett and Bill Gates in 2010. Signatories are either billionaires or would-be billionaires. And if it weren't for their generosity, who pledged to give away the bulk of their network to philanthropic causes. Sorry, I kind of messed that up a bit. But anyway, long story short, this is totally cool. So he's joined the ranks of guys like Elon Musk, Michael Bloomberg, and a bunch of others as well. He basically went on to say, like, how much does a person really need to live? So currently he has a stake, obviously, in Coinbase, and it's worth about $1.3 billion according to Forbes. While Bitcoin and other cryptos have crashed since then, Forbes estimates that in January, the CEO's net worth kind of ranges between 900 million and $1 billion, based on whatever's happening in crypto that day. So that's pretty good news, guys. And before we get out of here, I just want to remind you once again that they are doing a 30% discount on Ledger. They don't really do these kinds of discounts ever, so this is a very, very good opportunity. I don't think that you guys are going to be able to get this by Christmas personally, unless you get some ridiculous next day shipping or something like that. But that being said, they even have the Ledger Blue, which never goes on sale. The Ledger Blue it's actually a touchscreen wallet that they have. I personally just use the Ledger Nano. It works for me. And you could get it in all different colors. They have orange, pink, green, blue, and clear, which is my personal favorite. And yeah, so you have that, usually $100, $70, and Ledger Blue usually $270, only for $200. So if you guys want, I do have links below in the description. They're affiliate links. They do help the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and I would definitely appreciate it. But if that's not your cup of tea, guys, I just want to say once again, the Crypto Influencers Award 2019 has actually nominated Crypto Zombie as Best Crypto YouTuber of the Year if you scroll all the way down to the bottom. So it'd be really cool if you guys want to support the channel. You could definitely scroll down here, and then you just literally just click vote. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to give an email or anything. And it would give me, it would be cool. But at the same time, guys, if I don't, win, it's an honor. And guys, Crypto Daily is on the list. Are you kidding me? Love that guy. Crypto's News, awesome. Tone Vase, BitBoy Crypto, really cool up and coming guy. So, I'm not expecting to win this, but if you guys want, and don't vote for me, go vote for if you like somebody else, go vote for them. I'm just saying to basically get involved in the community. So, that being said, guys, I did not forget about the giveaway yesterday, so we are giving away a 10 Zorum t-shirt. So we have to go to yesterday's video and copy this, go over to YouTube Random Picker. All right, let's check it out. So if you guys don't remember, it was the 10 Zorum. I never have the t-shirts on me for the giveaways. So it looks like we have 232 unique comments, so drum roll, please. I want the t-shirt. Winner is Ag AU. Okay, so Ag AU. All you got to do is go over to my main page here, and in my about section, you'll see an email. Email me all the information, and we'll verify that it was actually you, and I'll send you the t-shirt. That being said, if you guys missed your chance, it's fine. I do giveaways all the time. There's always companies literally sending me stuff all the time. I'm not going to wear all this stuff. So I'm happy to give it away. That being said, guys, it's almost time for the holidays. It's the weekend. I hope everyone's enjoying themselves, spending time with friends and family. Don't get too crazy with crypto, refreshing your portfolio all day. But if you are here and you've stayed this long all the way to the end of the video, I want to say thank you. You are the reason that I do this every single day. I truly appreciate it. Everyone that's been liking, subscribing, commenting, you freaking rock. Thank you so much. That being said, my name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto and peace out.